Okay, so in Sefer HaMitzvahs, Rambam, in Agdama Sheresh Shnei Moser, schreibt der Rambam, Sheresh Shnei Moser, Shein Roi Livne is Chelkei Melocha min HaMeloches Sheba Tzivui B'Asiyasa, Kol Chelak B'Fnei Atzmei. If there's a tzivui, a mitzvah to a melacha, and melacha has few chalakim, so in Roi, to be made each chelak mitzvah B'Fnei Atzmei. And Rambam writes, K'moi Omrei v'osoli Migdosh, she's a mitzvah es yachas, v'u sheil on the Beis, muchan yavel v'yichaygu boi, v'achar kach, balatayr chaloko v'echi osu, v'enroi she'imone kol mashomer v'yosisa mitzvah B'nei Atzmei. So a dugma is mitzvah binyan Beis HaMikdash and has many halakim, which is every it says asisa. There's kelim, klei mikdash, menorah, shulchan, and they are halakim of the Mishkan. And same thing Rambam writes in the mitzvahs esei chof, livnes Beis Avoda, וכבר ביארנו שרשת בייס שזה הכלל הוא כל חלוקים. שהמנורה והשולחן והמזבח וזה לא שם כולם חלקי המקדש. So if you Rambam, we see a mitzvah of being in the Beis HaMikdash is Kolel also כלי המקדש, מזבח, מנורה וכולו. The Ramban in An Sefer HaMitzvahs in Mitzvah Lamed Gimel, so he's chelak on the Rambam. So erstens, like he writes, Ramban is masking that Shulchan, Menorah and Mizbeach are not mitzvah b'fnei atzmo. But for a different time, Ramban writes, "V'nimna anachnu asiyas hashulchan hamenorah v'hamizbeach mitzvah, mipnei shenitztavinu losam lechem lifnei Hashem, tamid v'tzivaysanu be'achsher avodah zayis she'i losam oisei b'shulchan metayer kan, v'shisuder olav binyan kain." Same thing is menorah. Ramban holds that the klei hamikdash not mitzvah because they are achsher mitzvah. Achsher mitzvah azu. It's an achsher klei. Shulchan is an achsher mitzvah lechem aponim. Menorah is actually mitzvah of Atavas HaNeiros. It's an extra mitzvah, not if you're Rambam, it's a chelak of the Beis. If you're Ramban, it's a different time. V'lo yuchshar shad Ramban. Lo yuchshar be'inei atam shekosav bo yarav, shom Hashem chelak min chelkei HaMikdash, lefi she'en hakelim chelak min haBeis. Shtayim mitzvahs, ve'enon miyakva zu zu. The kasha of Ramban and Rambam, that lichura, Klei HaMikdash and not Me'akev Zuidzu. So how can there be a Kelim if not Me'akev Zuidzu? So here's enough community between Ramban and Rambam because both say that Menorah, Shulchan and Mizbeach are not a separate mitzvah. Enough community is in Oren, right? Because Oren is not Tashmish mitzvah, it's a mitzvah B'nei Atzmo. According to the Kashi of the Ramban and Rambam is that mitzvahs kelim are not me'akim zuzu. Now, be'emes, this is Rambam himself writes this in Sheresh Chadosar. He writes this very clearly. It's a Kashi and Rambam, it's Rambam himself. The Rambam writes, "Zeh shekol ma'shamru chachamim sha'adavar hapleini v'hapleini me'akim zeh zeh inei hu mevur she'em mitzvah achas," right? So the Rambam himself in Sheresh Chadosar lichura if klei hamikdash are not me'akev zeh should be two mitzvahs or a few separate mitzvahs. That's the kasha of the Ramban and the Rambam. Now we have in the Mefarshim here few answers. So first is the answer of Megillas Esther, as Mefarish. Megillas Esther writes, look at this. Yeah. V'af shem en miyakim avodah b'Beis HaMikdash. The kasha the Ramban, l'chura kelim and the Beis not miyakim zeh zeh. Al zeh leimonim yesim kachalokim shli kama dvorim yesh she'eino miyakim davar acher v'em chalokim כמו יתחילס ועלובן שהם מיעקים זה וכל אחד מהם הוא חלק מיtzvah tzitzis. Gives a dogma l'chura tzitzis. We have mitzvah of loven, mitzvah of tchilas, two mitzvahs, and it's one two and not mi'akim zeh. Today we are lovish tzitzis only loven. There's not tchilas, and it's one mitzvah of tzitzis. So same thing is klei haBeis and the Beis. they're not me'akim zeh, but it's one mitzvah. But this teretz the churitz apelle, because mamish apelle, because Rambam in Sheresh Chadosar, the Feirush writes the dogma of mitzvah tzitzis. It's oisnam, even though they're not me'akim, since we have a ton v'Rabbi Shmuel, there it says that from Lashon of Kosuv, v'vayol lechem latzitzis, right? We say first v'asulam tzitzis, akonab sitcheles, v'oyol lechem latzitzis. So Atayres b'ferish was magala here that it's one mitzvah, even though not ma'akev zeh. Rambam writes that tzitzis is a yotzim naklal. So l'chura the teretz of Megillas Esther is a pella. It's not ein raya to Mikdash and Kelov, because Mikdash and Kelim are not that we know. Pasuk was not megal. That's one mitzvah. Another answer we find in the Farshim. It's a teretz from Lev Sameach. He writes. Ramban shekosov abayis v'kelim shtei mitzvahs shel me'ak v'zu v'zu yezeh kifi daitei v'u maroch l'drush ki bevad ita das harav ein kein. So Lev Sameach writes that this is taka machlekes Rambam and Ramban. Lefi Rambam klei hamitzvahs are taka klei hamikdash and the Beis Hamikdash are me'akev zeh, and that's why it's one mitzvah. Lefi Ramban they are not me'akev, and it's every kelim in the Beis is every kli is in latzmei. This is also, Ragachover writes this also, and Ragachover finds a mocker to this machlekes in Tanoim, but so here the problem with this teretz, because Pashtus Lashon in Rambam is not Lechura clearly says that in Perek Vav Habechira that makrivim b'Beis and makrivim karbanos and Beis. Right, even though we don't have a Beis and Lichura, same thing, we don't have Kelim, we don't have Menorah, still there's you can be Makriv a Korban. So it's mashma Lashon Pashtus Lashon of the Rambam in Perek Vav that Kelim are not Me'akriv Etz Avodah. Now this is Yesh Lefalpo here, but Pashtus Lashon is Lichura Doichak to say such a teretz. So this is a kashi of Ramban and Rambam. Now Ramban himself writes that mitzvah of the binyan Beis is just the binyan of the Beis, and kelim are separate than yonim. Elamai shulchan menorah they are tashmish mitzvah, and oren is taka mitzvah b'fnei atzma. Now we have also a kashi in Ramban. Ramban writes in his pirush Parshas Truma. Ramban writes. This is a reason why in Torah first thing the Siyas Beis is Oren. Why Oren comes first? Ramban writes Ikra Chevetz v'Mishkan u'Mokom Nuchos HaShechina Shua Oren Mishakosuk Misha'omer v'Niyadit El Chasham v'Dibar T'chom Yala Kaperes Al Kei Nidim Oren. Right? Ramban writes Ikra Chevetz is the Oren. So Lefi Ramban Lichura if Ikra Chevetz is the Oren, Ikra Inyan Beis Hamikdash is Ashaz HaShechina, so why is Oren Taka mitzvah b'fnei atzma? If that's the Ikra Chayfetz, should have been one mitzvah. So, Lesiku, we have a machlekes Ramban and Rambam, whether Klei Beis are Chelek, they're Nichol in mitzvah of Binyan Beis, Binyan Beis Habechira. The Rambam, it's all one, it's Beis and Kelim is one thing, and it's one mitzvah. The Ramban, it's not. And we have a kashi on both Rambam and Ramban. If Rambam kashi is Lichura Klei Beis are not Me'akim Zeh, and if Ramban, a kashi on Ramban is that Lichura, Ramban himself writes that Oren is Iker in the Beis, so should have been same mitzvah with the Beis, if it's the Iker Beis. So the teretz is in teretz like this. We have in it's a famous beer of the Rebbe in Chelek Yudalev that in Beis you have two Inyanim Mikrim, which is Ashaz HaShechina and Avodas HaKorbanos. And the machlekes of Rambam and Ramban is which Inyan is the Iker and the Beis. That's the Sheresh machlekes. Lefi Rambam, the Iker and the Beis is the Avodah. Avodas HaKorbanos. It's also Kolel Atavas HaNeiros Lechem Aponim. So the Rambam that so it seems Beis, the main idea is the avodah. So that's why kelim are nichlal in the mitzvah of being a Beis, because it's that's the tachlis of the Beis. Rebbe writes in the Medaik, this Lashon Rambam Hilchos Beis Habechira, the diuk as in the beginning of the Perekrishin, last is Beis Muchan Lias Makrivim Karbonis. It's a very interesting diuk. Just to bring out the flaw here, it's very, very interesting, because Minchas Chinuch writes, he writes that he did not have Sefer HaMitzvot of the Rambam Tachas Yodei, but learning the Beis Habechira, he writes that the Rambam Lichura doesn't say that that Kelim are part of the mitzvah. He writes that the Rambam, it's Inochinami, he is masking with Ramban, Kelim is mitzvah of Atzma. So he writes that Lichura Minchas Chinuch was not magish in this diuk, Beis Muchen Lias Makrim Karbonis. That a diuk is that if Beis is not Muchen Makrim Karbonis, so it's not a mitzvah. Beis should be Muchen, right? Otherwise, not a mitzvah is Lias Beis Muchen Makrim Karbonis. And for that reason, the kelim are nichol in the mitzvah of being a Beis. Now, how does that answer the kasha of the Ramban? So this is not so clear in the Sikha, so it is not so clear, but if you use daiti, so it's needed that say like this. There's I think Lev Sameach as is asking on the Rambam, also another interesting question. We know Mishnah in Bava Basra. Because Mafteach is metaltalin, it's not part of the Beis. If so Beis Hamikdash has kelim. Kosher can kelim. How are they chalak of the Beis? Not mechubarim leBeis. It's metaltalin. How can it be chalak of the Beis? So, but the beer in the Sikha, this that it's chalak min Beis, not because it's not chalak like it's not a Beis. The reason why kelim is one thing and the Beis is one thing, because that's the ikr of the Beis. That's the avodah. So it's lichura it's doimet to the Mishnah meicher beis merchetz, right? This is such a Mishnah, right? It's or if you meicher Beis miyut for something, so it's a Kolel also I think, right? It says meicher merchetz meicher levadim, everything that's shaykh to the beis merchetz. So the same thing is Beis Hamikdash is Beis. That's actually a lashon in Sefer HaMitzvos, Mitzvah Chav, Beis Avodah. If it's Beis Avodah, so it includes also the Kelim. That's why they are Chalokim, because it's the whole thing of the Beis is Beis Avodah. Lichura. Now that's Rambam. The Ramban. So the Ramban, the union of the Iker in the Beis is the Avodah. Not the Avodah, sorry, it's the Ashaz Hashchin, like he writes in Pirush and Chumash. So since the Beis itself is the Ashaz Hashchina, and Avodah is a second thing. That's why the Beis is not Kolel the Shar Kelim. And when it comes to Oren, why is Oren mitzvah b'fnei atzma if that's the Ikar Makam Ashaz Hashchina? So Lichura, it's because the mitzvahs that should be Beis. Beis, that's this Beis is Beis Mekudesh. I think the Lashon in Ramban. It's a close. In the Beis you have different. You have Kodesh, Kadoshim. It's all Ashaz Hashchina, right? You have a Beis. Where is the Beis? Oren is the Iker, but then, right? Yeah, where is the? Everyone has a Beis. So yeah, you have your main V'shachanti b'seicham the Adam Dar B'tira is ich weiß nicht, your standard by the Shafis, and then you have a couch. It's both. So same thing. Beis, you have the Oren. That's Iker in the Ashaz Hashchina. But then you have the rest of the whole Beis is the Beis Mekudesh, Beis Ashaz Hashchina. So that's the first thing is that the media to live in is Beis, and this Beis is Makam of the Shechina. And then you have Kelim. Oren is also Kli, even though it's Kli Ikri, but it's the second thing. It's a Klei Hamikdash. So this is the beer, and then so the last thing is it's very important. The Ora, there was Rabbi Dubov showed with me yesterday in Likudas Chasidas Chagdal. That's how the Rebbe's Masbid not Sicha. In the Ora over here, The Rebbe is asking Lichura and the Rambam, how can you say that Iker in the Beis is Avodah? Lichura, the Lashon HaPosuk is Vaslim Midah Shechanti B'Seicham. That's it's Mikra Malo Dibra Kasuv. Shechanti B'Seicham, it brings more, and when you add it to the Chasham Yala Kaperes, Lichura, how can you say that Ashras HaShechina in the Beis is not Inyan Ikri? And it's a Rebbe writes like this. It's also not so clear. The Lashon is Elash Aramba Medaber B'Yina Mitzvahs Shnistav B'Yisrael Lasses B'Yisrael Aramba Medaber B'Yina Mechivat Sheva Mishkan Atzmai. It's much more like Rambam. It's a tzarichin exactly what's this order saying. I think that the pshat is like this. It's there must be a machlekes, right? The Rebbe says l'shitasai. That's bezat tolui if the kelim are mitzvahs b'fnei atzman or not. The lichurat it's like derech mashal. I don't know if that's the pshat, but just like we have in tefillah, we have tefillah b'loi kavana guf neshama. You have the guf mitzvah and you have the neshama, the oimek of the mitzvah. Right, the mitzvah tefillah of Pashas is just to say the words, and kavana is it's the neshama of the mitzvah. It's the but lav dafka the chiyuv. So Rambam, maybe the machlekes is that lefi Rambam abadei that the ikar in the mishkan is the shaz hashchina, but mitzvah to us when Hashem also lemikdash is to build the Beis Avodah. That's the. And if Ramban, it's lechatchila the mitzvah. The lechatchila the mitzvah is that to build the makam ashar hashchina. It's not. Ich weiß nicht Punkt. And last nekuda is that there's also here a diuk from Ragachover. It's interesting. Also in the beginning of Hilchos Habechira that Rambam writes las is Beis. Right. So it's also mashma. The way Rabbi was the Alpia Mavur Lil that that's not livness, it's lasses. Livness is that the mechuvan is the matara is the Beis. Lasses is that there should be Beis. Memela there should be avoida later. Lasses is that the Beis itself is not so much important. Main thing is that there should be Beis. Lasses Beis, and then we can be makriv karbonis. If Ramban, it's not about lasses that there should be later can be makriv karbonis. It's the binyan itself is the matarat binyan for Ashaz Hashchina. Yeah.
What about the Shaila Rikovas?
That's what they said. It's Leikuva would be problem if it's like if the biur, it's like Beis HaMerchetz. Oh, I didn't say it. It's like a Beis HaMerchetz that Memela scale everything else. But if you don't, Adrab, since the main thing is avodah, so if you don't have a Beis, you could still do avodah. But it's not I'm saying the Kuv is not a kasha, the fact that it's not because it's Beis avodah.
What will you call it?
It's not so clear in the Sikha. It's not so clear. It says lechatchila